Hey, what's up guys, Will here for GSM Arena. Every year we get a new vanilla iPhone, and this time around you might wonder if it's worth upgrading to the freshest model, the iPhone 15. Of course, if you went for last year's iPhone 14 instead, you'd save some cash, but miss out on a few new features as well. Is there enough of a difference to make the iPhone 15 worth getting over the 14? Let's put them head to head and find out. This year's new iPhone generation brings a few upgrades over the previous one, even at the level of the base model. One of the most significant is the move from Lightning to USB-C connectivity. Another major change is that the iPhone 15 has a pill-shaped cutout on the front, rather than the notch cutout you get on the iPhone 14. From the backside though, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the two phones apart. The iPhone 15 and iPhone 14 have the same size and shape. There is a slight difference in that on the new model, the edge of the aluminum frame is more rounded. Of course, both phones bring the same IP68 rated ingress protection against dust and water submersion. The iPhone 14 and iPhone 15 both have a 6.1-inch OLED display, with ceramic shield protection and just a 60Hz refresh rate. There are a couple of major changes on the new model though. The first is the pill cutout, which I already mentioned, and it comes with a dynamic island functionality for extra information and shortcuts. The other change is that the iPhone 15 can boost its brightness when it needs to, in auto brightness mode. We saw it max out at nearly 1650 nits, versus a little over 800 on the iPhone 14. This could come in handy on a sunny day outdoors. Other than that, both phones' displays perform in a similar fashion and have support for HDR10 and Dolby Vision. There's another difference when it comes to these iPhone stereo speakers. The older model is slightly louder. You can listen and compare the audio quality for yourself with the provided link. As you'd expect, you get basically the same software experience on either phone, as they both run Apple's latest iOS 17. However, since the iPhone 14 is a year older, its software support won't last quite as long as the iPhone 15's. Another difference is that since the iPhone 15 generation has USB-C connectivity, you can connect the new iPhones to an external display via USB-C alt mode. And through USB-C host mode, you can connect the iPhone 15 to peripherals like a mouse, keyboard, or external USB storage. Let's talk about the chipset. The iPhone 14 runs on Apple's A15 Bionic, which was cutting edge 2 generations ago. In contrast, the iPhone 15 has an A16 Bionic, which was found in last year's Pro models. While both are quite powerful, the newer chipset is a bit better. The A16 Bionic has support for more advanced LPDDR5X RAM, and is able to provide about a 15% improvement in overall performance. The iPhone 15 has a slightly larger battery than the iPhone 14, and the battery life itself is a little better too. The iPhone 15 scored an overall endurance rating of 98 hours in our tests, compared to 90 hours on the iPhone 14. Screen on tasks saw the most improvement. When it comes to charging speed, with a proper 20-watt adapter, we were able to charge the iPhone 14 to 60% in half an hour, and the iPhone 15 charged to 58% in the same amount of time, about the same. But a full charge was faster on the older model. It took an hour and 31 minutes, versus an hour and 50 minutes on the iPhone 15. And now for the cameras. The iPhone 14 has a 12-megapixel main cam and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide cam. Meanwhile, the iPhone 15 brings a new 48-megapixel main cam, also paired with a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. When comparing photos from the main cameras, you get about the same rendition from both phones, with Apple's signature look. But the iPhone 15's main camera produces 24-megapixel photos by default, and they have more fine detail than the iPhone 14's 12-megapixel photos. The 2x digital zoomed photos from the iPhone 15 also look better than the iPhone 14's, because it has a lot more resolution to work with. Both phones have great low light capture with their main cams, but the iPhone 15 has a slight edge. Photos from the ultra-wide cam aren't too impressive on either phone, but the contrast and colors do match those of the main camera. And finally, the video capture is excellent, from both the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 15. You can record in up to 4K with any of the cameras, with great stabilization. So there you have it guys, the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 15. So which is better? The answer isn't so clear-cut. The iPhone 15 brings a brighter display, the modern-looking dynamic island, the slightly better chipset performance and battery life, and more detailed photos out of the main cam. Meanwhile, the iPhone 14 has louder speakers and, more importantly, the lower price. Another factor to consider is Lightning versus USB-C. It's nice to have the more universal USB standard, but if you're coming from another iPhone or everyone in your family is using Lightning, then USB-C won't have much of a benefit for you. In the end, the iPhone 15 has a slight edge when it comes to the features, but if you want to save some cash, the iPhone 14 won't disappoint either. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.